Hello everyone, and I hope you're having a wonderful day. Today we're going to explore a powerful story. What happens when a quiet day on the farm is broken by a stranger from the past, and one old photograph begins to unravel a truth hidden for 18 years? If you enjoy emotional family stories like this, don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you won't miss our next videos. The morning should have felt ordinary. Steam lifted from the rice pot. A small blue shoe sat upside down by the porch step, and Henry was on the floor beside it, trying to fix the strap with both thumbs. Tu Na came out with a towel over one shoulder. "Wrong foot," she said softly. He looked up, offended by the idea. Before she could kneel, a woman's voice came from the gate. Not loud, not rude, just certain. "Lynn?" Tu Na stopped. The towel slipped from her shoulder and hung from one hand. Alex, who had been checking the latch on the side fence, turned so fast the metal clicked hard against the post. At the gate stood a woman in a faded beige jacket, maybe in her 50s, hair pinned badly as if she had redone it on the road. She looked tired enough to lean, but her eyes were fixed on Tu Na. "Lynn," she said again, slower this time, "you don't know me now, but I know that scar near your left wrist." Henry looked from one adult to the next. "Mum?" Tu Na covered her wrist without thinking. Alex crossed the yard in 3 fast steps and stopped between the woman and the porch. "You've got the wrong house." The woman glanced at him, then back at Tu Na. "No," she said. "I found the right one too late." Inside the kitchen, a spoon began to rattle in a bowl where the porridge was still settling. Ba Tang appeared in the doorway, one hand on the frame. From the road, a motorbike passed. Then silence came back too quickly. Tu Na's lips parted, but nothing came out. The woman's voice dropped. "If he ever called you Little Lynn by the river, then you know I'm not guessing." Alex felt Tu Na go still behind him, and for the first time that morning, the yard no longer felt like theirs. Alex did not open the gate. He kept one hand on the wood, as if that alone could decide what entered and what didn't. "What do you want?" he asked. The woman swallowed before answering. 5 minutes." "No." It came from Alex first. Then, almost at the same time, from inside the house, Alex's mother, who had just stepped out onto the porch after hearing the voices. She looked elegant even in the country morning, cardigan buttoned, chin lifted, eyes already measuring the risk. "This is not a place for strangers to arrive unannounced," she said, "especially not calling someone by a name that does not belong here." The woman's face changed at that. Not anger, something closer to shame. Ba Tang moved past the table and set Henry's cup down before it tipped. "Take the boy inside," she murmured, but Henry had already reached for Tu Na's hand. "Why is that auntie saying your name wrong?" Tu Na squeezed his fingers too quickly. "It's nothing." It did not sound like nothing. The woman outside heard it too. "It never was nothing," she said. Alex's shoulders hardened. "Stop." Tu Na finally stepped forward, not past Alex, but close enough that she could see the woman more clearly. There was mud at the hem of her trousers, a tremor in her jaw, and under one arm, a cheap plastic folder being held too carefully. "Who are you?" Tu Na asked. The woman stared at her like she had been waiting years for permission to answer. "My name is Han." That meant nothing. Or should have. Tu Na looked blank, and something in Han's face collapsed. "I knew your mother," she said, "before you were taken away from that village." Alex turned his head slightly. Taken away, not moved, not sent. The difference landed. Alex's mother heard it too, her tone sharpened. "If this is some kind of extortion, it isn't." Han said it fast, with real fear behind it. Then she looked over her shoulder, not down the road in general, toward one exact point beyond the trees. It was so brief most people would have missed it. Ba Tang did not. Neither did Alex. The old woman at the gate lowered her voice. "I should not have come here, but I ran out of safe places before I ran out of reasons." Henry tugged at Tu Na's sleeve. "Mum?" Are we going to nursery late? That simple question broke the moment in a different way. Because nursery meant routine, routine meant safety, and the gate had already taken that from them. Alex's mother came down one porch step. Alex, end this. Bartang stayed where she was, watching Han's eyes rather than her words. Tu Na looked at the folder under the woman's arm. If you knew my mother, she said carefully, say her name. Han answered at once. Mai. No hesitation, no performance. Tu Na did not move, but her fingers loosened from Henry's hand. Alex felt it, and hated that he did, because now this was no longer just a stranger at the gate. Now it was a crack. And once a crack formed, every person in the family would start seeing a different danger inside it. They did not let her in. Not yet. Alex made Han step back from the gate while he opened it only enough to take the folder from her hand. The plastic was damp. Inside were old papers, a photograph with bent corners, and a hospital bracelet sealed in clear tape, as if someone had tried to preserve the proof of a day that had gone wrong. Tu Na didn't want to touch any of it. But when Alex passed her the photograph, she took it anyway. 3 women stood near a riverbank. One was young, thin, holding a wrapped baby. Another was Han, unmistakably younger. The third woman had Tu Na's eyes. Tu Na stared so long that Henry leaned against her leg and asked, "Is that Grandma?" No one answered him. Alex unfolded one page after another. Nothing official enough to settle anything. But not random either. A clinic receipt, an address half torn away, a name written twice in different handwriting. Lin. Then, beneath it, much later and in darker ink, Tu Na. Alex's mother folded her arms. Paper can be made, stories can be practiced. Han nodded as if she agreed. Yes. Then she looked directly at Tu Na. So tell me why your left wrist was burned by overturned fish broth when you were 4, and why your mother wrapped it in the blue hem of her own skirt, because there was nothing clean in the house. The porch, the bowl, the yard, Henry's weight against her knee. All of it fell away. Tu Na stepped back once, not because she believed, because some part of her already had. Bartang saw the color leave her face. Alex saw it too and reached for her elbow, but she pulled away on reflex. Han's voice shook now. I came because a man has been asking for Lin again, and if he finds out I found you first, he won't stop at the gate. Everything changed after that sentence, not outwardly at first. The house still stood, the kettle still hissed low on the stove. A chicken scratched near the side wall as if the morning had not broken open. But the family rearranged itself around fear. Alex's mother insisted Henry be taken to the back room. Bartang took him, not because she agreed, but because he was listening too hard. As she buttoned his small sweater properly this time, Henry asked, "Did Mum do something bad?" Bartang smoothed the collar instead of answering. "No," she said. "Sometimes grown-ups get frightened by old things." In the house? In people? Back on the porch, Alex kept Han outside while Tu Na sat down without meaning to. Her knees had simply stopped holding. Alex crouched in front of her. "Look at me." She did, but not fully. "Do you know this person?" "I don't know." That was true, and not true enough. Alex's mother turned to Han with cold precision. "You arrive with fragments, fear, and a story about being followed. Why here? Why now?" Han took a breath that caught halfway. "Because I thought changing her name had hidden her." Alex stood. "Who changed it?" "Your mother didn't," Han said to Tu Na. "She wanted to keep Lin. She said it was the only thing nobody had the right to take. But after she died, your uncle moved you. A woman in another district took you in for a while. The new name came after that." Tu Na stared at the photo again. She had no memory clear enough to fight with, only feelings, water, heat, a song that never came with words. Alex's mother watched her closely, not soft, but not untouched either. This could still be manipulation, she said. Trauma makes people easy to steer. Alex almost agreed. Then Han said quietly, I didn't come to claim her. I came because I made the first mistake. No one spoke. Han pressed her hand against the gate. Years ago, a man wanted access to land by the river. Poor families were pressured to sign, to leave, to disappear. Your mother refused. Your uncle didn't. He owed money. He started passing along details, names, birth records, anything that could be traded. Tu Na looked up. My mother's family sold information. Not your mother. Han's eyes filled, but she fought it back. The men asking questions now aren't looking for a lost girl out of love. They're looking for the only living person who could challenge what was taken. The meaning came in pieces, too slow, too fast. Alex heard the practical danger first: land, documents, people willing to chase a child's old identity into adulthood. Alex's mother heard reputation and legal exposure. Tang, listening from the hallway, heard something else. The panic in Han sounded practiced only in one way, like someone who had already tried not to speak and failed. Tu Na stood up so suddenly the chair legs scraped. Why didn't you come before? Han flinched. Because I was afraid. That's not enough. I know. You watched my life disappear and did nothing. Alex stepped forward, but Tu Na lifted one hand to stop him. For the first time, her voice was sharper than his. You let me grow up, not knowing who I was. Han nodded through the accusation. Yes. And now you bring danger here. Yes. Alex's mother seized that. Then you leave, immediately. Han's head turned toward the road again. The movement was tiny, but real. If I leave now, I may lead them past your turn. Tang came back with Henry's toy truck still in one hand, forgotten there. Then they're already close enough to matter, she said. Alex looked at her. His mother looked at her too. Two elders, two different readings. One saw contamination, one saw pursuit. Tu Na pressed the heel of her palm against her own chest, as if that might settle what was rising there. Alex spoke more quietly now. To me, only to me. Is there proof beyond this folder? Han hesitated. That hesitation hurt her credibility. Then she reached into her jacket and pulled out a small key on a red thread. I took this from your mother's box the night she was moved to the clinic. She told me if Lynn ever lived long enough to ask who closed the door on her life, I should give her the key before I gave her any excuse. Tu Na stared. Around her neck, under her shirt, hidden for years, she wore the exact same red thread. No key, just the cut end of a cord she had kept for no reason she could explain. Alex saw her hand fly to it, saw the answer hit before the words did. And in that moment, the stranger at the gate stopped being the biggest threat. Because now the real danger was inside the family. How much truth this house could survive. They brought Han inside through the side door, not the front. That choice said everything. Not welcome, not trusted, only contained. Alex's mother objected without raising her voice. A child lives here, Tang answered just as calmly, and a hunted woman was standing at our fence. Neither of them blinked. Henry, from the hallway, saw Han's shoes by the mat and understood only one thing. Someone new was in the house when no one had asked him first. He came out clutching his toy truck and stood in the wrong place between the kitchen and the table. Tu Na turned at once. Henry, come here. He did not. He looked at Han, then at his mother. Are you still my mom? The room went still in a way shouting never achieves. Tu Na crossed to him and knelt so fast one knee hit the floor hard. She pulled him in. Too tight at first, then softer. I am always your mom. He accepted that. Children do until adults teach them not to. But after he let go, he stayed pressed against her shoulder instead of going back to play. Alex saw the damage there, not tears, not panic, just the first shift in how safe his son felt standing in his own kitchen. Han sat at the edge of the chair without touching the backrest. Alex stood near the window where he could see the drive. Tu Na would not sit again. Alex's mother remained by the counter, one hand on the untouched teacup, growing cold. Bartang opened the folder one more time. "Tell it clean," she said. "No drama, no protection, no missing pieces." So Han did. Not elegantly, not all at once, but enough. After Tu Na's mother died, the man behind the land deal kept searching for any surviving claim. Children were easier to erase than contracts. Names changed, records vanished. Han had helped move Tu Na once, believing distance would protect her. Instead, that same disappearance made it easier for others to rewrite what happened. Years later, one of the men involved had become careful, wealthy, and impossible to accuse without proof. But recently, he had started asking again, not publicly, quietly, about a girl called Lynn, about whether anyone had ever traced her. Alex felt anger arrive in a practical form. Routes, locks, phones. Who knew their address? Who had seen Han come here? Tu Na's pain was different. It was not about the man she had never met. It was about the years in between. All the ordinary days she had lived without knowing they were built on missing pieces. Alex came close, wanting to touch her shoulder. He stopped halfway. That hurt more than if she had rejected him, because now even comfort needed permission. Alex's mother set down the cold cup at last. "If this reaches the company, the house, or the boy, we do not handle it emotionally. We handle it correctly." Tu Na looked at her. Correctly for who? That landed, not loudly, but hard. And for the first time that day, Alex's mother had no fast answer. By late afternoon, the light had changed, but the house had not recovered. Nursery had been forgotten. Lunch had gone untouched. Henry had fallen asleep in Bartang's lap for nearly an hour, then woken confused and clingier than usual, following Tu Na from room to room with his truck scraping softly over the floorboards. Alex made calls outside, short ones, careful ones. He did not say names. He checked the camera by the drive, adjusted the side latch, walked the fence line twice. Protection gave him tasks. Tasks gave him somewhere to put fear. Inside, Tu Na finally stood alone in the small bedroom and opened her palm. The red thread lay across it. Han's key sat beside it now, metal against old string. Something completed too late. Alex appeared in the doorway but did not come in. That distance between them felt new. He wanted to ask what she was thinking, what she remembered, what she needed. Instead, he said the practical thing. "We may need to move Henry for a few days." Tu Na laughed once, not because anything was funny. "Move him where? Away from the gate? Away from me? Away from whatever I was before?" "That's not what I meant." "I know." She looked at him then, finally, and he saw the deeper wound. Not just that a stranger had brought danger, not just that the past had found her. It was that her life had shifted in front of witnesses. Her child, his mother, Bartang, him. Everyone had watched her become uncertain inside her own name. In the kitchen, Alex's mother was speaking to Han in a low voice no one else could hear. Not warm, not cruel, strategic. Bartang beside the stove noticed and said nothing. Henry wandered into the bedroom doorway, rubbing one eye. "Can the auntie stay tonight?" Neither adult answered fast enough, so he added, almost whispering, "She looks like she's scared of outside." Tu Na closed her hand around the key. That small act answered nothing, but it decided something. She looked at Alex. "If she leaves and something happens on this road because we were afraid of what it means, I won't sleep in this house again." Alex held her gaze. He understood. The painful choice had already been made, not because trust existed, because conscience did. So Han stayed, not as family, not as guest, as unfinished truth. Night came slowly over the farm, the porch light clicked on, the gate stood shut. From inside, the house looked almost normal again. A child's cup by the sink, a folded blanket on the chair, shoes by the mat. Then Alex, checking the drive one last time, looked past the porch and down toward the end of the entrance path. For half a second, between the trees, there was a man-shaped shadow standing too still to belong there. And when Alex stepped forward, it was gone.